Good morning. Hi, everybody. And welcome to the weekend of Mabon. Mabon. I don't know how you say it. Mabon, Mabon. Solstice, no, equinox, fall equinox coming, and a lot of other things that are going on. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and welcome to Teri Suzuki. Thank you so
Hi,
much for
Allie.
being
Hi, everybody.
here.
Hey, hey, Carl, I saw your message yesterday and I went in
Oh,
and fixed that. Yeah.
okay. There you go, Carl. So you're all set. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes it's unintentional. There's a button you can push that's right near a button to ban you. And sometimes, things jump. And so I don't believe anybody wanted to do that purposefully for you. So,
I have noticed that if I watch a replay and I'm looking at the chat and then I accidentally poke the screen of my iPad while I'm over somebody's chat, then the
mhm.
only option that comes up is to block them.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
I've always been worried that maybe I was poking around there
Mm-hmm.
and poked on somebody accidentally. Yeah.
Well, it's happened before, and it might happen again. But please know, everybody, that we love you, and if you've been a subscriber here for a long time, there's no way we want to get rid of you. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is Teri's last time with me until probably around Thanksgiving, as she's got lots and lots of things that are going on with her. And so I want to really have a wonderful show with her. She does have a reading right after the show, so we have to be judicious and get these readings done. Teri and I did open the Akashic Records Masters for you. So if you have Akashic Records readings that you would love to have done, you may add that to your list. Please make sure that you tell us if you want an Akashic Records done. Give us something, if you can. If you can say, I have a real love for Ireland. Can you tell me maybe about a time I was in Ireland? Or I have a fear of snakes. Is there a lifetime that was prevalent? The other thing is, if you just can't, or there's no posting there, we can give you what the Akashic Masters want you to know, a little bit of it anyway. It's kind of like a spirit guide reading. If you're wanting a mediumship reading, make sure you give us the name, first name only, and the relationship to you, who could be a friend or a coworker, it doesn't matter, but parents, grandparents, whatever. So, anything I've missed here today, Teri?
I would say the only thing I'd add to that is what I like about the Akashic Records is now. I mean, of
Yeah,
course, they're great for looking at past lives and what kind of
right.
what
Yeah.
how it's been
How it's been helping you
but
now?
they have a lot to say about now. So you can ask questions
Cool.
like, you know,
Uh,
am I on the right path? Am I doing my mission?
there you go. There you
There's
go.
there's some things they don't care about. They do not
That's true.
care about how much
People
money you
still.
make. They don't care about who you love, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't care about where you live. So you got to ask oblique questions if you want answers with that.
There you
So
go.
in other words, you can't come to me and say, "Should I divorce my spouse?" They won't answer. But
As they should.
you can ask it obliquely. You can say, "Have I learned all I came to learn with this person?" And
Uh-huh.
they will answer that.
Uh-huh.
And that way you have another little bit of information to help you make
Yeah.
your decision.
There you go. As always, your discernment is important, and make sure you don't rely on readings over your own intuition. Let's put it that way. How about that? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I already see some questions coming in. The other thing is, you may hear me typing something in every once in a while, and it's not intentional to upset anybody, but I do sometimes have um, I say hello to some people, or I'm clicking on people that want readings, that kind of thing. All right.
Or you're clarifying. They've asked for a reading and you need a name or
Yeah,
something.
that's
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So we will do as many as we can for the length of time we have. And welcome to everybody. Rush, MEJ, Craig, Joyful Journey, Sonia, Mary Thornberry, Emmy J, Kim B, Wayne Rich, and Suzanne, if she's around, Greg Dixon, Willow, Carl, Christine Fryer, Joyful Journey, I think I said that. Connie Epley is here. CJ, Kathy 11. Goodness sake. We got lots of folks here. Thanks you. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, my apologies, and welcome to the show. It's wonderful to have you. And thank you so much. Kim B said she so enjoyed your stories last night, Teri.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That was fun. She's talking about I was on the Crone Zone.
Okay.
They let me tell Teri's tales. So it's not always once a month, but then I get to come and tell my wacky spiritual adventures, what I have seen and heard. And so last night I got to do that. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Gosh, that's good. That's fun. Everybody's stories are so fascinating, whether they be their life story or they be their spiritual journey story. So much fun to share. That's awesome.
Well, that show I got to talk about. I talked about 4 readings I did at different MeWe fairs, and one of them involves psychometry, which is not something I have done, but the spirit I was reading wanted to touch her mother's hands. And it was because her mother had put on her rings just to come to the show. I could not resist. I just had to touch her hands.
Yeah.
Then there was an NDE reading, a person who experienced NDE. And I read somebody who is just vacationing over here for one life. They are actually an Akashic Record master themselves. And another man who, it was really interesting because it was all about karma he had racked up in a different life. He had 3 questions, and all of the questions had to do with that life.
That's so cool, Teri. That's
super
cool.
interesting.
That is interesting. Well, thank you. Thanks to everybody who just came in. Okay, so I'm going to go first to Kathy 11. And the reason I am Kathy 11 is a couple times we've tried to read for you during the show, and either you've left or it's like too late, or I don't know. You always have to wait. So I'm going to go with you first, and then I'll be bouncing around random order, and we'll try to get as many people answered today as we can. All right.
This might take a moment.
Fantastic plan. All right.
Okay.
That sounds like fun.
So, Kathy, I am just taking a stroll through all the different teams real quick that are guiding you. So not just your spiritual guides, your angels, but also your Akashic Records master. I'm just trying to take a look at all of them to see what about this, how's this plan going? So, okay, so I think I am talking to a being of light. So one of your beings of light. Because the reason I think that is because it's super easy to talk to them, and they always feel like your best friend. They feel like my best friend. They just feel like I'm just talking to someone I know, someone so easy to talk to. And they're saying it's going well. They're saying even sometimes when you're frustrated, when it feels like maybe it's not moving forward, that you're not having as much fun as planned, it is moving forward.
Mm.
A fantastic plan. And they're showing me that your spirit is blooming and growing. They're showing me that part of this fantastic plan is opening you up to fun, opening you up to new experiences. Um, It feels like they've already kind of cleared away uh, religious things that are religious that would have held you down from the fantastic plan.
Oh.
And they are working on clearing away societal ideas that also put the brakes on a fantastic plan.
Wow.
And then they will move on any personal breaks that you have where that you might resist the fantastic plan. But I don't see very many of those. I think you are down for this. I think you're ready for the fantastic plan.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
So I have something, something recreational that you're going to do, which could be a whole bunch of different things. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a softball game or something, but it's like something that you're planning. When I get the next card to clarify it, I get nonconformity. In other words, it might be something that you're not used to doing, something different that you've never done before. The second one is, looks like you might have to cut. This says severance. You have to cut something. The alligator's pulling the boat, and the guy's like, "No, I don't really want the alligator to pull the boat. I'd rather cut him off at the pass here." And then I get escape. So there's something about what it is that's happening that you don't want it to be tethered. You want to be able to be free to do what it is you're doing. And then I get be open to receive. It says invite abundance with open arms, embrace the blessings waiting to flow into your life. So it looks to me like the fantastic plan is really moving forward. So
I just want to add that I also recognize from what they're showing me that part of this fantastic plan is astral travel. So that's part of this. So
well,
developing those ideas so that you're
fun.
having fun in your sleeping and meditative life, that it's not just in
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. I hope that spoke to you today. So the next one we're going to do, we have a couple people that I've not read. First of all, thank you to Cynthia Donegan for the donation. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so very much. We have Star Traveler, who has never asked a question before. So she wonders if she could have some insights about her finances. Will I have to get a regular job, or will I be successful with my online creative art? Well, I hope you can do maybe a little of both, but how about we'll certainly read on it here. Yeah.
So right away, they do tell me that you'll probably have to get a regular job for a little while, not for the rest of your life, not for the rest of your career, to supplement keeping house and hearth together. But you eventually will be supporting yourself through your art. So that's
Mm.
your spirit team. So I'm going to go talk to your Akashic Records masters just to clarify this a little bit, just to make sure. So, dear Akashic Records masters, please introduce me to her Akashic Records masters to start traveling. Is that true that they should take a job and then eventually live off the art? Again, I feel like, yeah, they're telling me, yes, this is what's going to happen. But I feel like that workaday job, it feels like possibly the job might be something like a docent in a museum. That, in other
Oh,
words, something that puts you close to art.
hmm. Well,
Consider
that's awesome.
consider Yeah,
I love
consider
that idea. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. All right. So the first card I get for you is self-restraint. And I see the cookie down at the bottom. It's like being on a diet, only you're putting your budget on a diet. I agree with Teri that you might want to take a job for a while at least in order for you to have the extra money to create your art. Because, whatever your art is, I'm sure there are things that you'll need to have to do that. Unless unless you're just writing. And if you're writing, you still want to have some kind of a buffer in your finances. But it says soon the timing will come, and it's got a watch right there. So they said, watch your timing and make sure you're still doing your art. Watch your timing and eventually you'll be okay. I'm reminded of myself. I make more money in the fall than I do any time of the year by teaching. So I have a lot of classes in the fall so that I can save some. So when things are a little bit lean, I have some left over. And they said, be defiant that what you're meant to do here is your creative art. So, don't take the money that if you're working a part-time job or whatever, don't take the money and squat and spend it on something that you may or may not need. If that's what your goal is not to have a job anymore and do your art. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Allie, but they're saying one more thing. They're going to
Okay.
strengthen this connection with Star Traveler and their muse, because
Ooh,
your job often, diverts your attention too. And so
true.
it's harder to create that art because you're channeling your muse. So I'm just seeing how that they're like pouring light into this connection so that it's much
Wow.
easier to stay connected. So
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I hope that helped you a lot, Star Traveler, and welcome again to the show. We're glad to have you here with us. Um, and another person that I've not read for before, neither of you, I don't think, is Sandra Dole. And she wonders, when will Sid and Bonnie sell their house? We'll
okay.
do some timing.
Okay,
Um,
let me. Okay.
oops.
I am going to, they immediately said something to me, but I'm going to get my pendulum out
Okay, there you
and
go. I knew that
double
was.
check. That's a good way. Pendulums are a great way to double check things.
Yep.
Will Sid and Bonnie sell their house this
All right. So the card I pulled is a timing card, Sandra, and it says there are many factors that are in play that will determine when that particular house will sell. It says timing is fragile and complex and multifaceted. So there is going to be some precision needed, some clarity needed. The good news that I heard, and this is me talking, not the card, but the interest rates have gone down 0.5%, and that's got to help the real estate market. So many factors. Spirit time is what we call this. But as long as they do all the things that the listing agent tells them to do to get their house up, including um, having a real nice smell boiling on the stove, because that always gets it. There you go.
year? Okay, so um, right away when I tapped in, I felt like, yes, they're going to be able to sell their house in this year, in 2024. But then when I went to the pendulum, it was hesitant on 2024. It was absolutely no on 2025. And then it was yes on 2026. And I thought, okay, I don't have all the information here. What's
Right.
going on? I went back. And so I do think that there are definitely some possibilities for this year, but it was a little hesitant at first. The first time I asked, it was just hanging still, but then it was kind of going around. So what I think is they have something a little bit more that they have to do to make it sellable. I do see that the ability to sell it, meaning nothing like interest rates are going to hold them back. There's just maybe a little bit of something they have to do with their house. And maybe it could be if they've done everything that they think is necessary, like their realtor has told them to do. The last thing that they may need to check is love. I have to tell you, we love our houses. They know we love our houses. It's hard to let go of a house. And one time, one of the houses I owned, I wanted to sell it, but I loved it. I loved it way too much. And I knew I loved it because in my head, every time I thought about the house, I'm like, ooh, I should paint that wall, or I should fix this woodwork, or I should do this or that. And finally, my guide said, you have to stop loving the house. Stop loving the house. Stop holding it hostage by what you think you got to do to it. Let it go. It's whole. It's fine. So if that all is done well, please let them know that they probably have to stop loving the house. And I don't mean hating the house. I mean
No, right. Yeah.
letting it go.
Let go of the attachment to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Wowee. She's in British Columbia. So I don't know. I'm going to throw this out too. I believe it's St. Joseph. You get a little St. Joseph statue, and in the front yard, you bury it with its head down, and it's supposed to bring a person to your house to buy it. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And I've done it. You don't have to be Catholic to do it.
Right.
So there you go. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. What a beautiful place to have a house. I'm down in Seattle, so I'm not too far from British Columbia. That's wonderful.
And we know that's a beautiful area.
It definitely is. It definitely is. All right. The next one we have is Mary Thornberry. She has an Akashic question. I'm going to let you work on this one, Teri. I have a fear of going down a hill towards water, like if you were in a car to go on a ferry. I'm okay now, but when I was a kid, I would get out of the car and walk. Any connection?
Wow. Okay. Mary Thornberry. Okay, dear Akashic Records Masters, thank you so much for helping me. Please, along with Mary's Akashic Records Masters, show me why did she have fear of going towards water? So they're showing me a picture that looks to me like in the Old West, in the old times when people in the United States traveled from the east to the west, on wagon trains and things like that. I am not completely sure of the time, but basically I'm seeing that it feels like your family was in a wagon and they were crossing a river to move forward, and your wagon got completely overcome. Your family lost all their possessions. It turned over, it went down the river. You survived.
Wow.
But now I'm just kind of looking at the rest of your family. Feels like your father died. You, your mom, your brothers and sisters, you survived somehow, probably because your father did everything he could to make sure you guys lived, because that you're the important part of it all.
Yep.
Okay, and so
Um,
it's created this fear of going forward, and you feel like if you walk towards it, you're under your own steam, under your own control. So some of this was having to give up control. Some of it was having to live through that. What I've also noticed that as we know these things is that the fear kind of dissipates on its own.
yeah.
So,
I had a vision of you also being in a crowd, walking sort of like down logs towards a river or a lake or something. I don't know what it was. And you were pushed from behind by a
mm,
runaway horse or runaway something or other. So, but that was like really early, like biblical times. So
ah,
it could be that that happened and, a lot of people didn't survive, including yourself. But, and it was the fear that you would be hit from behind and move forward. And then, of course, if you had this experience, then this experience with Terry was much closer to your lifetime now, but it wasn't as bad as the first one. So I'm feeling like it's something that was a repeating pattern for you. And that's why when you were younger, you were so fearful. Cause I believe you were younger in the lifetime I saw you were a kid. And I think Terry said you were a
mhm,
child, a kid in that one. So
yeah.
that's why when you were a kid, it felt that way. That's what I get. So thank you.
Mm,
Thank you so
thanks,
much.
Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We have what type of relationship did I have with my grandpa Melton? He passed when I was 9. Okay.
Let me. I'm kind of curious why you would ask this question because if maybe you don't have memories before the age of 9, but let me just look into this.
Maybe she means Akashic. Like maybe was there another lifetime with Grandpa Melton?
Well,
Maybe.
I'll
I don't
just
know.
go in
Yeah.
there and see. See
Yeah.
what.
Sure. Sure thing. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing they're showing me right away is that Grandpa Melton was a very protective spirit. I mean, that it looks like he's been with you in other lives. He's part of that spirit family you travel with. But each time I see him, what they're showing me is like a blockade, like something that's stopping something. So in the way I'm looking at it, it seems like it's protective to of you. Um, okay, let me just look into this a little bit more. Well, okay, anything else we need to know? So during the time that you, oh, he's guiding me now with mom's
Her
situation.
mom and her stepdad were both in the hospital. I don't know if they still are, but Willow's there taking care of the dog and being around where they are. So there's
Okay.
some things, health
So
things going.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. So he's showing me that he's a protective barrier, a protective person. He cares for you a lot. The reason I was having a little bit harder time even thinking of this because I have a guide called Melton,
Oh,
and that's why that I kept thinking, wow, very protective, because my
yeah.
guide is more protective, and I almost wondered too, is this the same Melton? You never know, but
Right.
yes, he. what he also showed me is this protective barrier that he's kind of enacting so that there's a space for you and him to interact. He also is telling me that he helps provide you with logical intuition, he helps you guide you on the path of logic, logistics, just the guidance that you need that is not so emotional, is not so subject to whims. He somehow is able to interact with you in a more logical manner. So yeah, he seems like a fabulous guide, a fabulous guide.
Wow, that's cool. I get to hear that you were his princess. You were his little princess, and he just loves you so much. And of course he would be there to help you. And I could see a little 9-year-old Willow with her grandpa, because my daughter was the same way with my dad. He's trying to give you as much schooling as he can in what's going on with mom and dad and how to react to that and handle it. And I get the word grave, but I don't think it's a grave. He says they're having a very grave issue. And I know you're alone there with them. And so I don't want you to feel alone. So that's what I get for you, Willow. And wow, he's a very loving guy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, honey. All right. So let's see. The next one we will do. Remember, I'm doing these randomly. Carl, I'll go ahead because I know that you want Teri to answer this as best she can. So, and I will pull a couple cards for you as well. Ooh, Carl, I got some interesting cards. You need to make a request in writing. And in your request in writing, you need to make sure that they know you need the money before you're even going to show up, and you need them to sign on the dotted line. You need them to be able to release that money to you because you need it in order to do the work you're going to do. And then it says, let it go, rest, and know all is well. That's what I get for you.
Yeah, Carl, I would agree with that you should put your request in writing. I know you probably already have, but maybe one more time, maybe, documenting the times you've asked for the advance payment. But now I'm trying to get a message from your guides. So one thing I can see right away, they're really showing me you're very creative, really creative. Okay, tell me more about this creativeness. They're showing me that you should keep moving ahead. I feel like they're saying that you have some project in the works that you are working on. It almost feels like a book or some sort of thing that you're making, something very creative, and they're telling you that this can move forward now, and that you are okay to move forward.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Screenplays.
Screenplay. Ah, okay.
You nailed it.
Go.
Yeah. So they're asking you to make sure you have a contract on everything, Carl. Everything.
Right. Yeah,
and new music.
I would
Oh,
be
mhm.
careful of that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And don't don't tell anybody else. I mean, we don't know what you're planning on writing about here, but don't tell anybody in your world what you're working on. Don't let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. And you have a lot of cats, so you should.
Mhm. This is my theory, Carl, just my theory on this kind of thing, that
Mhm,
when I feel like people who do this kind of creative work are being guided by a muse, and that
mhm.
muse is just another name for spirit guide
Yep.
or being of light or whatever angel. And I believe that the thing is that these ideas are given to us from the other
Mhm.
side. They come to us,
Yep. Yep.
and I feel like that then they want us to choose and pick which things we're going to do. That's
Right.
still up to us,
Yep.
but I do feel like the second you tell somebody about it,
Dissipates,
it
doesn't it?
dissipates. This dissipates because you have done something. It's not the thing they wanted you to do, but you have done something.
Uh-huh.
And so, for instance, there's been a few times where I wanted to write a book, and then I told people about my book,
Yep.
and then I didn't write the book because the energy pushing me to do that dissipated because I had done something.
I understand. I've done
Yeah.
this. I have a book. I have like 30,000 words already from 10 years ago. And
Mhm.
I couldn't move forward with it for some reason. I was feeling that the topic, the person that I was writing about wouldn't be happy with the way it was done. And so I don't know if that was my own saboteur or what, but yeah, we can't. It dissipates. I've never told about this first movie I want to do. Oh, good. Okay. Well, we're not telling you you can talk about it in a generic way, let's say, but
Yeah.
don't tell
Yeah.
somebody else
The
like, oh, it's going to do
exactness of
this
it.
and that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
like Carl, you said not necessarily my ideas, but channeling. So you basically, I think you're saying I'm channeling the muse a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
too.
A
They
little bit.
can't do it
We all
without
do.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You were open to it. You were the person, the conduit for the channel. So there you
Hmm.
go. Good luck,
Yeah.
Carl. That's awesome. Yep. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. All right. So I would love an Akashic reading about past lives in relation to my mother, Lisa, or my sons, Austin, Logan, Zach. Okay, Kim.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see.
Let me.
I don't know that we can do all of them. We'll probably be able to tell
Yeah,
at
we'll
least
just see
one.
what goes on.
See what
So
happens. Yeah.
I'm going to greet my Akashic Records masters. By the way, if you want to look at the Crone Zone one, I talk about what I see when I'm doing this process,
Oh,
but
okay.
I
Good.
won't take time to describe it now. Okay, dear Akashic Records masters, thank you for bringing myself and Kim B together. Could you introduce me to Kim B's Akashic Records masters? Okay, so Kim's Akashic Records master, she has some questions. Would you please show me if that she has any past lives that also involve Lisa and or her sons? Okay, show me more about that. Well, they're saying first they're just talking generally. Yes, yes, you have traveled with them a lot. And what they're showing me a very close up of a bee and a beehive and how that the beehive supports itself. So to me, what they're saying is this is your part of your spiritual family that you travel with, you've probably been in many lives with. And they're showing me that yes, many lives in many different situations. In other words, you're not always the mother of your sons, and you're not always the daughter of your mother in many things. So, dear Akashic Records Masters, will you show me an important life that will explain this relationship? Huh. Okay. So they're taking me a long time away. I want to say 1400s, somewhere in there, a long ways away. And this life was in France, in the southern area. It feels like when I'm kind of looking at a map that this is not all the way to the Riviera, but it's before the Spanish border. So definitely way down in the south of France. Okay, tell me more. Show me what's important about this life. They're showing me that this particular life has to do with you and your sons. And I'm getting the feeling this is the first time you met these two souls. Um, remember, we're just wearing a body right now. This is just our vehicle. We're really just souls, they're spirits. And this is the first time you met them, and you were again mother and they were sons. Oh, and you lost your partner? Uh, you were very fortunate though. You owned the land and nobody could take it from you. So you and your sons were able to farm this land and be successful at it. In other words, you never lost it. You made good money. You were never hungry. You were never badly clothed, other than, farmers have to wear kind of rough clothing. They have work to do.
She wonders which sons were there. Were all of them there?
The two sons that you have mentioned in that, the two sons are both there.
She said 3, Logan,
Oh,
Zach, and yeah, there were 3 of
okay,
them.
hang on. I think I didn't read everything. Let me just look.
Okay, no problem.
I see 2. I
Okay.
see
You see 2 of the 3 there. Okay.
Austin, and what was the second one that she Austin? Okay, it's all right.
Zach
I
and
see
Logan,
2.
is it? Zach and Logan, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Austin and Logan.
Austin
And
and
then I
Logan.
see that you guys have made a firm that this is something that really satisfied your spirits. So, okay. So now, Akashic Records Masters. So she's picked up these 2. Can you show me another life where that? Oh, Zach is a little new to this group. Zach is newer. So you didn't pick Zach up until about the 1800s. Okay. But firmly in the family, firmly part of this family you're traveling with. Okay, can you show me the mother? How about the mother? Okay. Mom, the first time I'm seeing mom, I'm seeing it in England. I'm seeing you were both sailors, both men on the same ship. It feels like you're on the Thames in England, that you're working a ship, that you're working that, and that's where we pick up mom. So Akashic Records Master, is that the first time she meets her current mom? Oh no, your mom has been loosely associated with you in many lives. Okay. But you become really close spiritual family in that life. Huh. So it's been over time. It's been over time that you've been with all of this spiritual family that you're traveling with. Yeah.
Yep. His brother says he's an enigma. This is fascinating. Well, yeah, it can explain a lot of things if you think about it. So that's really awesome. Thank you very much, dear. I'm glad you. Well, I just have to bring up this question because it's fascinating to me. she's heard a healer say some body piercings can interfere with chakra function. Is the same true of tattoos?
Let me just
Yeah,
get
it's a
in here
good
just a
ask.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So, dear spiritual team, my spiritual team,
Wow.
there's questions about piercings and tattoos. Do they interfere? Okay, so they're showing me that neither one of those can interfere with the. Okay, well, I didn't ask about the chakra function. Hang on. So, working with your spirit team and your Akashic Record team, that does not affect that at all.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask about the chakra functions though, because I didn't ask that. Okay, how about this, Tina? What about the chakra functions? Does this stop? Does this interfere? So that question gets a little muddier.
Yeah.
They're showing me that it can interfere, especially if the piercing has pain.
The
Or
piercing or the tattoo?
a piercing or the
It's a
tattoo.
tattoo. Yeah.
Anytime there's pain involved. So probably right when you first get a tattoo, there's going to be some
Yeah.
pain. That
Yeah. It
probably will
is.
interfere. It will not be able to it'll have a harder time spinning past that. So tell me more about it. Once they're out of pain, does it interfere? It only interferes if it interferes up here. So they're
Yeah,
also
that's
talking
what I'm
about
getting.
you and
Yeah.
your
If it
belief.
becomes an addiction is what I get. I think you can have an addiction to pain as much as anything else. And I'm not going to say much more because I'm not a fan of tattoos and I don't want my own personal feelings about it. But my feeling is there are people that have told me they're addicted to the pain, and that would interfere in some lifetimes,
Yeah.
I would think.
So basically, if I have to basically encapsulate what I think I just learned, which
Mhm.
is that they only interfere during the painful time,
Okay.
and that they they did again at the end remind me this is just a vehicle. I mean,
Yeah.
they're saying it doesn't interfere if you get your car wrapped and painted a different color. Your car still works.
Right.
So
Right.
And so
Yeah.
some of it's in our heads, some of it's us saying, "Oh, I got a tattoo. I'm this or I'm that."
Mhm.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Interesting question too, Lynn.
it is
I
interesting.
couldn't pass that one up. So thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I'd
Um,
still love to hear somebody else reach in and ask that too. That'd be
well,
cool.
yeah, I mean, we all, but when you were speaking and you brought up the pain, see, I wasn't going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyway. All right. Um, let's see. I would like to read for Emmy J because she would like an Akashic reading as well, or any masters want you to know. I'm going to go
Okay.
into this one, see if I can figure this one out. What I get is that the reason a lot of people think of the Akashic Records or as our lifetime as being in a big library is because we each moment of our lives is embossed on the page of our soul, and the memories that you had to give up to come into this life remain deeply embedded in that page and those pages in order for you to live more effectively in the now. Um, but much like divination, the lifetimes contribute to each successive lifetime to lessen the pain of the last lifetime and to provide new lessons due to the expanded development of our consciousness. So that's what I get.
I love that. So MEJ, what they're showing me is on your flow of your life. They're showing me the flow of your life. And the flow of the life is kind of like your agreement of what you wanted to do at this particular life, in regards to like all the lives, the flow of the lives. And I just see these kind of strips of colors flowing down it like strings, and then they're showing me you plucking the strings, making music, creating vibrations out of it. I mean, that's all music really is vibrations. And they're just showing me you on the flow of the life, strumming the strings, making the life happen, making the life flow. They show me once in a while you trip and a bad note happens. But in general, they're saying that you are plucking and playing this life and making a really great sound.
Beautiful.
So I think saying keep going. That just seems really, really
the
positive.
Instrument of your soul. That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. Woo. Thanks, Emmy J. I hope that helps you. I'm going to throw this in. Craig had it in early. He's got somebody. Craig, you know what I'm going to tell you? You can forgive her. Oh, I'm sorry. You can ask for forgiveness without seeing her. All you need to do is go into a nice, calm state, envision her in front of you, and say whatever it is you want, and then release.
Okay, so let's see here. What about Joanne? So will he see Joanne in person, in body again? Okay, Craig, they're showing me a very complicated scene here. So I'm just going to sort out the first thing I can recognize right away, which is that you can forgive you first. So the first step in this is forgiving yourself. Looking at what you feel that you did or contributed to the situation that you weren't proud of, to go imagine your higher self and forgive yourself. A real and true compilation of what you did. Here, just by the way, here's what I think. I think when we go home, when we die, we go home, and they say we get to see a replay of our life. There's no judgment on that replay. God's not judging us. The people watching around us are not judging. It's just us. So that has led me to believe, and I may be overreaching here, but that the person who actually performs the heavenly forgiveness of our soul is us. So I have decided in my life to cut this off sooner rather than later, not wait for then. If I truly know that I have done something that I'm not proud of, that I don't like, that I wish I could redo again, I go in and replay that and forgive myself for not having information. So they're showing me this to tell you to go ahead first and forgive yourself for what you feel like you did wrong. I believe that when you do this, you may get a chance to see her, but I'm not completely sure because they're showing me her really low in conjunction with you. That it's almost like she's dug into a deep round pit and that she's lower than you. But I do see her spirit kind of swelling and getting bigger. And so I would just start with the forgiveness and then just be ready in case you do run into her to tell her what, that you're sorry for whatever you're sorry for. Just be prepared. I'm not sure she's coming back around though. I'm not really understanding this thing.
Yeah. But you can do it here and do it here. And it's done.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Craig. Let go of it.
Let go of it. That's right. Absolutely. Okay, so Leah wonders, could she have an Akashic message from her team to understand how to find freedom? Right.
My heart to Leah's heart, Leah's heart to my own. Okay, Leah's heart. You go ahead if you get something.
First thing I get is freedom is an illusion created by man in order to feel as though they have a choice. But truthfully, we are attached to all things, including people, places, events. Much like the idea of security, freedom is a man-made idea. But with regard to freedom from our thoughts, we always have the opportunity to choose new thoughts, new actions, and new ways of moving forward in order to complete our sacred contract.
Wow. Wow, Allie. Well, Leah, I got something very similar. They showed me on your path of life that indeed you're already free. There's nothing spiritually holding you back, but I saw very strongly that somebody in your life is holding you back from freedom with their opinion, the weight of their opinion. The weight of their opinion, right, just is very hard and harsh. And you should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You should just hard opinion. Maybe this came from your family of origin, maybe, but it feels like there's somebody right now putting that heavy weight on you. And so as I watched this happening, I asked them, what do you want to do about this? Is there something that can be done about this? And they said, yes. So what they showed me is that they're going to lend you an umbrella for a little while. This umbrella, it's just like a black, just like the umbrella you see like on the salt shaker can, a big umbrella that covers you well. It's a tough umbrella. It's much tougher than what it looks like. and they're going to lend you this umbrella for a while to help keep the weight of these opinions off of you for a while.
Mhm.
We're going to lend it to you for a couple years. I want to say about 3, until as that you're protected from the weight of these things. So in other words, that person will still be in your life. You'll still be hearing these things, but they're going to bounce off the umbrella. They're going to bounce off and not really penetrate into you. And it's just giving you time to come to recognize your own freedom. Yes, to come to recognize your own freedom, to start to become absolutely certain. And then this will slowly dissipate, but you will be okay because you don't have these opinions weighing you down so much. And here's the other thing they want you to know for sure. Everything you're doing, saying, thinking is fine. Okay? You're on your path. This is part of your path. We all judge ourselves so harshly, and then hearing somebody else judge us so harshly is way too much. I believe that they're going to start giving you like what I call one-liners, where that they when you hear the judgment come down, to ask a question. Why would you think that? Does that matter?
Mhm.
And then they have to explain themselves. You know,
Yeah.
I think they're just giving you this time to recover. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Leah, the boundary setting is very important. If you feel suffocated and you're wanting your own place, then do that. Make that happen. You can make anything happen that you believe you can make happen. So much love to you, my dear. Much love. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We only have, I'm going to say we're going to pick one more for this time. And thank you to everybody who's been here. Teri's got a reading that she's got to do at the end of the hour here. So I'm going to say at this point, we'll do a collective reading and message for the group. That way everybody gets tagged in, and everybody, hopefully some of the other messages that were given today will help you all in what it is you're dealing with. And please know I'm back here every Sunday doing the same thing. So my apologies if we didn't get to read for you today. Let's have a collective read if possible. Teri.
I'm talking to my Akashic Records masters, asking to meet everybody's Akashic Records masters.
Wonderful.
And asking to bring in all the teams as one, as speaking as one. What do you want everyone who hears this now and hears this later to know? They're not letting go of that umbrella idea. That's fun, but they're showing me like a big intersection, with lots of cars in it and stuff. And they're showing me this umbrella put all the way over the intersection, like a huge, massive umbrella that's over. And they're saying, please know and remember that we care for everyone, all of you that are watching this, but everyone. We recognize that human existence is a lot chaotic, and you try so hard to make it not chaotic with the lights and the stop signs and all the things to try to make it a lot easier for people to navigate. Just know that we, your teams, all of the teams that are involved with you, have your best interest at heart, that we always are helping you as much as we are let to do so.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So, in the week ahead, I believe we're going to be getting, and further on, we're going to be getting illumination of a lot of things that have been kind of sealed up. We're getting the light. The light is coming, and it's being shed on things in our own lives and in the world. This will continue. We're going to be crossing into new territory that we would never have experienced in our lifetimes. Look at it. It's got the Pharaoh over here. We got a railroad crossing. And 29 is an 11, which is a master number. Look at it's taming the animals, so to speak. So we're taming some part of our own nature and some part of the universal nature. And we need to do this because we're out of control. Finally, these cards to me are so meaningful because I love the Wizard of Oz, and these are Wizard of Oz cards that I'm using. And for me, it's a metaphor for life. There's a man behind the curtain. Things are happening behind that we don't know about, and they're scary, and fear is being brought up. But they're saying, remind yourself to play. Throw the dice, play the cards, live the life. Illuminate, in number 22, another master number for you.
Right.
So fully immerse yourself in being open-minded and receptive to whatever it is that's planning to come in, and remain hopeful, remain joyful. And if you have some skepticism, it's healthy in some regard, but don't be unbendable is what I'm getting. So.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. All right. Well, Craig, thank you so much. Mom says, thanks, Teri, for helping my son. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. And for you, Teri, bon voyage. Have a wonderful trip and time. And we'll see you around Thanksgiving, when I'll be thankful you'll be back on this side. So there you go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for having me on, Allie.
Of course. It's always a pleasure. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.